We are going to learn how to virtualize Windows 2008 64-bit server on the Zenith BDR device. The procedure is essentially the same as virtualizing other Windows operating systems, but there are a few additional steps to follow. In order to start the virtualization process, log into the NAS environment with the Restore User account. From the NAS GUI, click on Standby Server, Create Virtual Machine. This will bring up a list of servers that are currently backed up to the NAS device. Select the 2008 server to be virtualized, in this case 2008 Demo, and click Next. This gives you an opportunity to write down any notes that are specific to this server and why you are virtualizing it. If you ever need to virtualize this machine again, you will have access to the previous notes and able to enter new notes. Click the Add button. Click Next to continue. You will then be prompted to enter the encryption password for the backup set. When you first set up your NAS device, you were prompted to enter a password that encrypts all of your files. Type your password and click Next. This will show all the details of the image. It will tell you the server to be virtualized, name, allocated RAM of the virtual server. It will also list the required RAM for the host, maximum RAM that can be allocated, and RAM that is currently allocated. In this case, we want to allocate 1 gig of RAM and click Next. A prompt appears, is this a 64-bit server? In this case, click Yes. If it is not, click No. This brings you to virtualization modes. Select the appropriate virtualization mode for the server. In this instance, we will be using Test Mode. Test Mode brings up the virtual server directly without network support. Backups do not occur in this mode. Users cannot connect to the virtual server, but you can test the virtualization and document any issues that occur. Test mode with networking should be used with caution. This brings up the virtual server with network support, but not backup support. Changes made to the virtual server are not reflected on the production server. If you attempt to run a virtual server in real mode and the production server is still online, you will receive an IP conflict message. Backups do occur in this mode. When you are reverting back to physical hardware, you will need to perform a bare metal recovery back to the production server. So we'll select Test Mode, click Next. Now it comes to the Hardware Independent Restore, or HIR screen. You will receive a prompt not to select any compressed files or the immediate file for migration. The HIR screen allows you to add the backup image you want to virtualize for the server. Click on the Add button. Windows Explorer opens, showing the base and incremental files that have been taken by drive letter. We only have a C partition on the server, but if we had more, they would show up here under D, E, etc. If you highlight it, it will tell you the date created. This one is from 1:20 at 10:03 p.m. and the size. Select your file and click Open. If you have more than one partition, you will want to add each drive before continuing. You need to ensure they have the same timestamp. After all drives are added, you'll need to select your boot partition. So you will highlight that and click Set Boot. You can see it changes from No to Yes. Now you will click Migrate. This restoration is variable depending on the size of the server being virtualized. Please press Next to proceed. Virtual machine is created successfully. Do you wish to start the virtual machine? We will click Yes here. Enter your encryption password to decrypt the backup image and click OK. The virtual machine is starting. When booting a 2008 server for the first time, you will need to boot into the StorageCraft recovery environment. Press Ctrl-Shift F12. This will show the command shell and the recovery environment tools. It will install your network adapters. Now you're booted up to the StorageCraft recovery environment. You need to go to the Tools menu, Command Shell. The first command is bcdedit /set, left paren boot mgr, right paren space device space quote partition equals C. You just arrow up and change the parameters from boot manager to default. The third one you need to change from device to OS device. The operation completed successfully. The 3 commands are complete. Now you can type exit. Command prompt will close. Now you need to perform a clean reboot of the virtual server through the File menu, Exit. If you do not do it this way, your next backup will be a differential, and we do not want that to happen. So we'll go to Exit. You'll restart. Boot from hard disk, which is option 3, we'll press Enter. And now you'll be booting to Windows 2008. The first time you'll be taken to a Windows error recovery screen. We want to select Safe Mode with Networking. This will only show up the first time you boot up. Now let's go to Machine, insert Control-Alt-Delete, type in our password, the first time that it comes up, you will receive an event shutdown tracker. Why did this computer shut down unexpectedly? You can choose a reason for that. Press OK. Now we will install the VirtualBox Guest Editions. Click on the Devices menu, Install Guest Editions. The VirtualBox Guest Editions welcome window will load. Click on Next. Agree to the license and click Next. Leave the location as default and click Install. You will receive notifications that the software has not passed compatibility. You can install those anyway. After your guest editions are installed, reboot. And now when it boots up, you'll boot right to Windows. Control-Alt-Delete to log in. Go to Machine, Control-Alt-Delete. Enter your password. Okay, now we're booted up to Windows. The last thing we need to do is install the Standby Server Helper. Go to Programs, Accessories, System Tools, IT Support 24/7 Backup, Standby Server Helper, and you want to select the mode that you're running in, Real, Test, or Test with Networking. We're running in Test mode, we'll select that. Give you a prompt, is the server running in virtual mode? We'll hit Yes. Your operation completed successfully, you can press OK. Once the installation is finished, you're ready to go. This concludes our demonstration of virtualizing Windows 2008 64-bit server.